Language Evolution Unveiled: How Genetics Illuminate the Impact of Human Interaction. Imagine uncovering hidden clues about how our languages have transformed simply by studying our DNA. That's exactly what groundbreaking new research reveals, showing that the contact between human groups, traced through genetic evidence, consistently influences how languages shift and change. But here's where it gets controversial. While languages often become more alike after people interact, sometimes they intentionally become more distinct. And this is the part most people miss when considering language evolution. A recent study from the University of Zurich explores an exciting frontier where genetics meets linguistics. By analyzing genetic markers that indicate historical encounters between populations, scientists have uncovered striking patterns in language evolution. When two groups come into contact, even if their languages are unrelated, their languages tend to grow 4 to 9% more similar. This finding is astonishingly consistent regardless of whether the contact occurred thousands of years ago during ancient migrations or more recently through colonial expansion. Key highlights include genetics as a historical lens. The team identified over 125 instances of past population contact by tracing genetic mixing, offering a new dimension beyond often scarce written records. Universal language convergence. Across different continents and times, languages consistently share more features after their speaker populations mix genetically. The surprising flip side, divergence. Some groups actually emphasize their linguistic differences following contact, leading to languages becoming less alike. This forces us to rethink the simple idea that contact only leads to blending. Human history is filled with episodes where populations met and mingled through migration, conquest, colonization, or modern globalization. These interactions didn't just pass on genes, they also transmitted cultures, technologies, beliefs, and importantly, elements of language like sounds, vocabulary, and grammar. For instance, English incorporated sausage from French after the Norman conquest, while French picked up the word sandwich from English centuries later. However, researching linguistic changes caused by such contacts is tricky because historical records of these encounters are limited, especially when looking worldwide. This has long left gaps in understanding how human interactions influenced language over time. To break this impasse, the researchers used genetic data as a proxy, a biological record of ancient and recent contacts, linking it with large linguistic databases that capture grammatical, phonetic, and lexical features from thousands of languages. This innovative approach allowed them to study 125 comparable examples of human contact across diverse regions and eras. Anna Graf, the study's lead author and a linguist at the University of Zurich, explains, using genetics to infer past contact lets us circumvent the problem of missing historical documents. We found that languages spoken by populations who mix genetically are statistically more likely to share linguistic elements by 4 to 9%, even if they are unrelated. This sheds new light on the mechanisms behind language evolution. Human interaction itself is a powerful driver. Chiara Barbieri, the study's senior author and population geneticist at the University of Cagliari, remarks, whether contact happens between groups on the same continent during ancient times or between continents during recent colonial expansions, languages adapt in remarkably similar ways. This challenges previous notions that geography or the scale of contact would greatly alter linguistic influence. Instead, history recorded in our DNA connects seamlessly with changes in language. Diving deeper, the study reveals that not all linguistic features are equally prone to change through contact. Elements like the order of words or certain consonant sounds transfer more easily than complex grammatical structures. Yet, intriguingly, no simple universal rule defines which features are borrowable. Balthazar Bickel, another senior author and director of the NCCR Evolving Language, reflects. This disrupts the old idea that linguistic features are borrowed solely based on their inherent complexity or learnability. Social factors such as power relations, prestige, and how groups perceive themselves often dominate these patterns. In other words, societal dynamics frequently trump linguistic constraints when languages influence each other. There is also a twist. The team detected cases where linguistic contact led to divergence, not convergence. In these scenarios, communities deliberately maintained or emphasized differences in vocabulary or pronunciation to reinforce their unique identities. Graph notes, while contact commonly blends languages, it sometimes drives them apart, highlighting that language evolution is complex and multifaceted. Both convergence and divergence belong in the global story of how languages change. These findings have profound implications. Contact between human groups is often associated with language loss, but this research shows it can also erode subtle layers of linguistic diversity, sometimes even accelerating fragmentation. Looking ahead, factors like global travel, climate change, land use, and demographic shifts might intensify these effects, further complicating the linguistic tapestry that records humanity's past. Could the very forces that connect us genetically also threaten the richness of our global linguistic heritage? And when languages borrow or resist borrowing, what does that tell us about the identities and power structures within societies? These are questions that this study provocatively raises, inviting scholars and readers alike to debate the intricate dance of language and genetics. This innovative research represents a pioneering leap in uncovering how human contact shapes language development, offering a fresh lens to view the evolution of communication across millennia.